Hey traders, a very warm welcome to you. So in this multi-part video series, I think we're in video 4 or 5 now, 10 steps to becoming a profitable trader. Go and check out the previous videos. We talked about the process that we're trying to implement here and then the steps we're taking. So we're now in the stage where I'm just looking over at my sheet. I'm not looking off screen. We're at the stage now we're doing a strategy, reboot and selection. What I mean by that, let's talk about it. Let's get on the screen, on the whiteboard first. Strategy, reboot and strategy selection. Right, what do I mean by that? A previous video we talked about personality traits and kind of drilling down very briefly. It was a short video, but it's giving you an idea of, listen, what am I doing as a trader that's sabotaging my results? There's something there that's doing that. And one thing we talked about is, triggering negative emotions in you, triggering the inner chimp, triggering the kind of thing that makes you trade in a way that doesn't really conduce you for your long-term success. Now we're looking at the strategy side of it. Where's my red pen disappeared to? I think it's here. Let's have a look. Is that the right one? I've dropped it somewhere. Should we go with green? Let's go with green. Okay, so now we're talking about strategy reboot. So what do I mean by this? I mean that you may have a library of strategies that you've got. What I'm going to say to you is, listen, clear that off, have no bias as to what works and what doesn't, and let's start afresh. Let's say to ourselves, listen, what kind of market are we in? And by the way, I'm coming at this from a perspective of a day trader because that's really my thing and what I'm good at. I'm not particularly good a swing trader. I'm far better as a day trader, but these definitely do apply. So I kind of default into talking day trading. I will step back and put it in a swing trading perspective, but very often I go down that rabbit hole because these are the kind of things I've done and I do to keep the performance where I want it to be. So the market conditions at the moment. So what markets are you trading? What are the conditions at the moment? Are we in a bull market? Are we in a bear market? Are we range bound? Is there volatility there? Is news causing kind of immediate spikes in one direction and we're creeping back up? What sort of conditions are we? So if you analyze that, and again, I said this in the first video, I'm going to say it again, we are looking objectively as if we are the business owner talking to our trading guys on the trading floor, and we're saying, listen guys, what's your strategy? Tell me the market, tell me what you're trading at the moment. Oh, I'm trading DAX, I'm trading FTSE. Okay, so what are the conditions for that at the moment? What are you spotting? Oh, well, we're quite quiet at the moment. We get a little bit of a burst in the opening hour, then we go quiet, and then US opens, gives us a little bit of a move, and that's kind of it because it's the season we're in. Fine, okay. What strategy takes best advantage of that? Now we're drilling down into it. So we've got the conditions. Because listen, it's a bit of a fallacy, guys, is that the same strategy works all the time. And I talked about it in the other video, and it kind of should have really been in this video, but let's just recap it. A bull market strategy is fine. We can buy an oversold condition. We can buy a pullback to a 50 period, whatever. We're going to make money with something like that. You try doing that in a choppy environment, you're going to lose money. You try doing the same thing in an aggressive bear market environment, you're going to lose money. Each market, each instrument has different kind of phases that it's in, and your job as a trader is to pick the right tool for the right job, and that's the real key to the game. And that's why when people are back testing automated stuff and they back test it and say, oh, well, it works over 20 years. Well, hey, that's great, but you're definitely going to have periods where that thing's not working. You're far better off to get something that works very, very well in the current market conditions and then use your ability to say, you know what, things are changing a bit. News flow is changing a bit. The way the market's moving is changing a bit. Let me pull it out and let me look for something else. Anyway, digressing. So market conditions. So where are we? What are we doing now? Okay, the next thing we need to do is listen, say, hey, objectively, what strategy is going to work very, very well in this? Well, okay, we talked a little bit about the conditions being very, very active in the opening hour, then going very, very choppy. What can we do? Okay, we can trade looking for a range expansion at the open, and then we can look to be out of the market by kind of 11 a.m. I'm just using a broad example here, guys. Okay, so now we're kind of drilling down a little bit. Range expansion at the open, and then out by 11 o'clock. Or now we go from lunchtime, we're looking for pure mean reversion, that really explosive kind of moves that move multiple standard deviations away, or whatever it may be. Okay, so we're getting a picture now. Let's look at this from a swing trading perspective. I'm trying to keep it, you know, let's put it broad for the broad audience here, guys. I know a lot of you are swing traders as well, and that's fine. I think that's a great way to trade if you can make it work. Definitely less intensive. So from a swing trading perspective, you might be saying, listen, you know, tech seems to be moving quite aggressively after earnings, so I'm gonna literally use range expansion after earnings play. So if we get a gap, I'm gonna look to focus on those stocks for the next few days, looking for a multi-day move or a multi-week move. Currencies seem to be trading quite actively based on central bank announcements at the moment. So I'm going to do this, or I'm going to trade up to a central bank announcement, then I'm going to come out of it. You see, you kind of start to marry the two things together. You start to say, listen, these are the conditions, this is the strategy. And this isn't a lesson, guys. I'm not going to drill down into giving you strategies for each of these things. These are things that you can come up with yourself as a trader and say, listen, there's a 15-minute range trade on this. There's a, you know, a buy the first pullback trade on this. There's a first oversold condition on a 5-minute chart on this, whatever. You know, you'll know the strategies yourself. But the point is, we're just cleaning the slate and we're saying, listen, what's the market we're trading, or markets we're trading? What's the conditions there are? What strategies do we want to employ for each of those conditions? And let's make a list and let's start to. And you're probably going to have a lot of the strategies that you're currently using and say, listen, that one's working, that one's working. But what this does, and this is the point, is this says, hey, why am I using that strategy? The conditions are this. I've objectively looked at the conditions. I've objectively looked at the market that we're in. I've looked at the move we're having average in the day or in the week or whatever time frame we're trading. But I'm using this strategy. Why am I using this strategy? Get rid of it. Okay, part 2 on this in a second. Let's go to the next video, guys, because we're getting on a bit of time. Part 2, we're going to talk about matching the strategy to the personality. That was in the earlier video. We talked about personality. Let's look at it now, how we can match the strategy selection. We've matched it with the market. Now let's match it with the personality, because the idea is if we get that synergy, then we're going to get a lot better results. See you in the next one, guys.